How's it going, everyone? I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be answering a question that gets asked to me all the time, both on stream and in YouTube comments, about which MvM tour is the most profitable. Now, it's a bit awkward to use the term profit because at the end of the day, MvM is gambling. It's like asking which game in the casino do you have better odds at hitting the jackpot. There is a good chance that you will just play through the missions and not get anything. But there are some missions, some tours, that are better to play if you do have, a goal in mind of what you want to get at the end of the tour. Now, there is some confusion. As you can see on my tour list there, Two Cities is my most played, and it is the most played amongst the entirety of the MvM tours. And this comes mostly down to the fact that a lot of people still assume that Two Cities is the only tour where you can get Australiums on. This is incorrect. You can get Australiums on any tour that is advanced or higher. So looking at the 5 tours here, we've got Oil Spill, Steel Trap, Mecha Engine, Two Cities and Gear Grinder. All of those except for Oil Spill are able to drop Australiums. Oil Spill is intermediate and therefore does not drop Australiums. It just drops the default bot killers, but any of the other 4 tours do drop Australiums. So you can play any of these and get a chance at getting that elusive gold. So when we're talking about the most profitable of these 5, obviously that discounts Oil Spill straight away. Without the chance of getting Australiums or that golden pan, it's really not worth going for if you're looking for some return on that ticket investment. Of the other 4, looking at Steel Trap next, well, Steel Trap is 6 missions long. It does have the most expensive bot killers out of the group. Those gold bot killers that you have a chance of getting are more expensive than the bot killers you get on the other tours, but that's because it's one of the least played and also because it is 6 missions long. That means it requires 6 tickets to finish one tour. Now, you want to try and spend as little as possible before getting to that tour completion, so a tour that's 6 missions long and requires 6 tickets is not really what you want to go for. So we can also discount that one, and it comes down to the next 3. We have Mecha Engine, Two Cities and Gear Grinder, and this is where we really start to split hairs and look at which mission is better for what you want to get out of MvM. Now, the big question in MvM comes down to what are you playing for? Are you playing for fun? Hey, go and play whatever tour you want. Do you just want Australiums? Now, there are tours that are better for that compared to the ones that offer the most profit. I'll explain that as I go along. So both Mecha Engine and Gear Grinder here both have 3 missions per tour. That means you only have to spend 3 tickets in order to finish a tour, and that means you have the fastest possible opportunity to get those Australiums. However, at the end of a tour, the only thing you get is a bot killer with the chance of an Australium. Remember, the chances of an Australium are something in like 1 in 30, 1 in 35. You guaranteed to get a bot killer at the end of it with the chance of there being a higher grade. So on Mecha Engine, you get silver bot killers as a base with the chance of getting gold bot killers as an added bonus, as an upgrade. And in Expert, it starts off with Carbonado guarantee with a chance of it being upgraded to a diamond. Now, the actual value of those bot killers are pretty equal across the 2. The bot killers on Mecha Engine are slightly more expensive, depending on the ones you get. Things like the rocket launcher or the wrench will actually net you a little bit more money. But in general, the bot killers are pretty much the same. You're not going to get much for the basic silver or Carbonado. Both of them, again, 3 missions long, so you only have to spend 3 tickets for that chance at rolling an Australium. So it comes down to, what do you prefer to play? Now, Mecha Engine is advanced, so technically it is easier than Expert. It does have the NG bots, and it was added into the game slightly later on, so it's more balanced for the recent upgrades. I say recent, I mean sort of post Two Cities upgrades. Gear Grinder is on Expert. It does mean it's slightly harder. The maps are slightly shorter on there, so it does make it easier for you to get kind of backcapped by the Super Scouts and things like that. So Gear Grinder is going to be slightly more difficult, and it is slightly less played. However, it is also slightly faster. If you're going at a good pace, you have a group of people together, and you guys know what you're doing, you are going to be finishing this tour a few minutes faster if you're trying to go really fast and just rinse through those tours compared to Mecha Engine. But at the end of the day, when it comes to those two tours, it's simply whatever you prefer. If you really like Gear Grinder and you like the maps and the missions on there, go for it. It's really not, you're kind of splitting hairs down the middle of which one is better to play. I enjoy both of them. I like to mix and match. So if your focus is just on getting Australiums, then Mecha Engine and Gear Grinder are the ones to go for. Now, if you want to go for the most profits, Two Cities is by far and large the best option to go for. And some of you who've been listening carefully will say, well, CJ, that's 4 missions long. That's an extra ticket you have to spend compared to Mecha and Gear Grinder. And that's true. You do have to spend an extra ticket. It's one more mission. It is longer. Finishing a tour on this is going to take substantially longer compared to the other two because the missions are in general longer as well. I mean, even if you try to speed run and go really fast, it's still going to take you around 2 hours to finish a Two Cities tour compared to finishing the other two in possibly under an hour if you're going really, really fast. The thing with Two Cities, though, is the extra time and the extra ticket does count towards something, and it is worth it. And the reason is because in your basic drops, every single time you finish a mission, you get some robot parts. Now, all of the other tours do not drop anything extra. You just get a weapon or a hat or a description tag, name tag, one of those kind of items as your default drop when you finish a mission. Okay, but in Two Cities, you get that weapon, hat, whatever item, plus a barrel of robot parts, and that can be anything between 5 and 11. You can have up to 12 items drop on that first screen, so you could get a whole lot of robot parts. Now you might say, well, robot parts are worth, a few pence, a few cents. They're nothing, but obviously, when you finish a tour as well, you get extra items. When you finish a tour of Two Cities, instead of getting a bot killer like all of the other tours, you're guaranteed to get a basic kill streak kit and a specialized kill streak fabricator. And those items are guaranteed at the end of your tour. Now, there is again another dice roll. Do you get something like the Fan of War or the Neon Annihilator? And they're not going to be worth very much on those kill streak kits. But if you get something like a medigun or a rocket launcher or a scattergun, something that is a commonly used weapon, you can build those kits and sell them, and you actually get a lot more bang for your buck compared to the bot killers. Now, that's just the basic reward. Of course, you can also get Australiums on Two Cities like all of the other tours, so that's by the by. That's, in all of these tours that we've mentioned. But another added bonus is you also get a chance of a professional kill streak fabricator, and these can be worth just as much or more than Australiums. In fact, getting something like a medigun or a rocket launcher professional fabricator at the end of a Two Cities tour is worth more than over half of the Australiums that you get dropped in Two Cities or in any of the other tours. So when you're looking at the full on how much profit can I make from playing MvM, Two Cities is clearly giving the most chances of something good. Whereas Mecha Engine and Gear Grinder, they're fast. You get the quickest route toward an Australium. If that's the only thing you're concerned about, go for it. You can just rifle through the bot killers, get rid of them, and get the Australiums. But in Two Cities, you get a chance of a basic kill streak kit, a specialized fabricator. They could be worth a decent amount of money that you can build with the robot parts you get from your mission drops. But also you get a chance of the professional fabricator, which could be worth a lot as well. And of course, the Australiums that you can also get dropped, which is why Two Cities is still one of the most played missions, or tours I should say, compared to all of the others. The bottom three, Mecha Engine, Two Cities and Gear Grinder, are the most popular in the MvM community. The other missions are mostly played just for fun or just because people like the missions, they fancy something different. But when people want to try and get those drops, the bottom 3 are the best. And yeah, I hope that answers the questions. Obviously, this is just, like I said, a roll of the dice every single time. You could do 100 tours of 2 cities, never get an Australium, never get a good drop on any of the kill streak kits. You know, there are chances like that happening. So it's just that 2 cities gives you the most chances at getting something good. If you don't get an Australium, well, you have another couple of chances of getting something that would be worth some money compared to the bot killers, which, you know, they aren't worth very much these days because of the sheer amount of them being dropped and sold into the community. So I hope that answers the questions. I hope that enlightens some of you that you can get Australiums on other tours now. You don't just have to play 2 cities. You are able to play the other tours and maybe get a bit of a variety in your life and play the different missions and still get a chance of getting that gold. But thanks for watching, guys. Feedback in the comments, as always, is welcome. I'll try to answer any questions, and take care, and I'll see you next time.